Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. Hi, my love. Welcome to Wednesday night podcast of Jesus Christ, Not Another Fucking Podcast. Thank you all for being here. I know that Rob is there. He is. Hi, Robert. Let me welcome everybody. I got to put on glasses to see who is here. Hello, beloved souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Robert, how are you? You're muted, lovey.
I am magnificent. How are you?
Magnificent. This is my 10th appointment of the day. I just had one of those days where it was like nonstop. And it's so funny because, I don't know. Usually I'm really good about, only 3 appointments a day. And today just like it all piled up. Anyway, I did get to take a little nap, which was good. Very,
That's
very
right.
good.
You speak earlier. You were about to rest your eyes for a moment.
And I did. And then someone called. I usually keep my ringer off, but someone called and that was the end of that. How is everyone? Having miracles and goodness and happiness. All right, you look like
I'm
you're
trying to get the right color and dim it. I'm trying to dim it.
No, it's like going through all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All the time, trying to figure this thing out. Break out the instruction. White light. There we go. How's that? My blue.
That's perfect. So I just want to let you all know that was that today? Yes, today we launched the Magdalene membership. And Michelle just signed up for it. It's $26 a month and it's really precious. So there's an incredible being named Mother Maya who came through with the opening of the last eclipse, and she's here as a protector and a defender. And she is channeled by my dear friend Wendy. And Wendy reaches out to me one day and she goes, I have a message for you from Mother Maya. And I'm like, uh-oh. Anytime they're like, we have a message for you, I'm always like, oh, a little nervous. And Mother Maya said, it would be a very good idea for you and Magdalene to start a program about your book. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So when it was Magdalene's feast day last week, we had a big celebration. And then another friend came and said, why don't you start a mastermind and go through the book? And she's like, Magdalene told me to tell you. And I'm like, Magdalene, didn't you want to tell me directly? And she's like, well, if you would put down the phone long enough to talk to me. I'm like, busted. Techaholic. So we started this mastermind and it was just lovely. We did a reading from the book and we found out what day of the year it was. And then I channeled her. She came through with a gorgeous message. And then I got interrupted by having to feed my cat for a quick moment. And then I came back and then she did a Q&A. And it was really profound. The people that attended said, hi, Rory. Aw, Rory just shut up. And then she did a breathing meditation, which I thought was really beautiful. All I know is that at the end of it, I woke up and, come out of trance and I'm like, wow, I feel really peaceful. And they're like, oh, she did a breathing. I'll be sneaking on from work at 11 a.m. Okay, perfect. No worries. You can chat. We can always, what I'll do is I'll ask one of the people who's going to be there to interact with the chat, because when I'm actually channeling her, I'm of no use to you. I'm reading your book and ACIM together now, and I'm on lesson 9. That's really beautiful. There's a woman named Tina Spalding who wrote a book called, what's it called? She wrote a book called A Year of Forgiveness. So she channeled Jesus for a year. And they went through the 365 lessons, as I did with Magdalene, but she did it with Yeshua. And they wrote a book together. Hers is called A Year of Forgiveness, and this one is called A Year of Love. And one is the, divine masculine take on the Course in Miracles from the man who created the Course in Miracles. And then this is from his beloved. And so people will buy both books. So they'll read the Course in Miracles they'll read what Yeshua channeled through Tina, and then they'll read what Magdalene channeled through me. And I think that that's like the perfect trinity, right? Doesn't get better than that. Here's my very own, very thin, worn thin, 1985 book gifted to me. You can see all the crackling pages of A Course in Miracles that I have had for a very, 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 very long time. The pages are definitely yellowed. But this is my baby. This is what got me started on all this thing. I saw a copy of this at my friend's Kevin's house, and I go, "What's that?" And it was actually 3 hardcover books. So this was like the early 80s. And he goes, "Oh, it's called A Course in Miracles, something about Jesus." And I was like instantly fascinated. And then I had a roommate, and she bought that for me one year for my birthday. So that was really cool. And the membership was just really sweet. I'm sure it's going to continue to grow. We had 4 of us today for the inaugural launch, and it was really sweet. And we're gonna be there every week, just like we are. So twice on Wednesdays, I'll be broadcasting, once with Magdalene and then once with my precious soul brother Roberto. And Rob called me early to tell me that it is a beautiful message for us. I'm looking forward to having you share it.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, I think, for a lot of people, right? A lot of ups and downs, a lot of energy.
A lot of miracles.
For me, a lot of fatigue. Yeah. Anyone feeling a little exhausted lately? No hands? Just me? Oh, good.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
We got it.
Okay. It's not just yeah, there's a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. The human resonance has been pretty high, a lot of whiteouts. If you check the human resonance, I kind of look at it every couple of days, and a lot of energy coming off the great central sun. More and more activations, more and more to help us to reignite, re-engage the etheric DNA, that DNA that they say, oh, it doesn't do anything, right? And that part of the brain that's just, we don't use only 10, we only use 10%. Well, now we're going to be using a lot more. Each day we're using more and more of it. And with that, these energies, more and more is put online, giving us greater and greater abilities to create, to attract, to manifest. So it's always very important to focus on what you want, not what you don't. We don't want to attract things we don't want, right? Abundance is there for all of us. It's about being specific in a lot of ways, writing it down if you have to. See yourself with that object, car, coin, whatever it is that you want to have. See that you already own it, and that in turn will help you to attract. I spoke to a little earlier before she took a rest, and I said Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi, has been around, and Lakshmi is referred to as the goddess of abundance.
She also has a crush on.
I don't know much about her. I never studied. I'm sorry.
I said she also has a crush on you.
Okay. Well, I was introduced to Lakshmi, I guess in 2019, maybe, by a teacher. Her name is Dawn Marie Delahunt. And after I learned through Lynn's course and with Wendy's help how to do automatic writing, and it was coming in, and I decided to sign up for an automatic writing class. And in that class, I was able to polish up my skills, learn a little bit more about how to complete the messages when they were kind of left open-ended, things like that. Just different perspectives from a different teacher. And all of that helped me along. And during that class, I was introduced to Lakshmi. And she was just introduced that we had to channel a message from Lakshmi, and which I did. And that started a relationship with Lakshmi. I always kind of wondered, I always kind of had these feelings that it could be like strange. Obviously, it wasn't something that I grew up with as far as a goddess is concerned. My concern was that it would be very much like when I was a kid, there was an M&M commercial for peanut M&Ms. and there was a woman with like 8 arms, and she was the M&M commercial person. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but it was back in the 70s, right? And that's all I kept thinking of when I thought of Lakshmi. So I never wanted to know anything about it. So look, I'm getting the messages, they're pretty clear. Let's leave it alone. And then back in 2020, in January of 2020, I went over to Lynn's sanctuary for, I think, a Thursday night, either Tuesday or a Thursday, I'll get-togethers for. And I got there a little early, and she said, "Oh, I have something for you." And I said, "Oh, what's that?" She says, "It's your birthday present. A few days before my birthday. Here." And she hands me a brown paper bag. And I opened the brown paper bag and I look in, and she says, "Well, look at what's there." And so I pull it out, and I pull out of the brown paper bag this statue. And she says, "It's Lakshmi." And I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And I put it back in the bag. And I'm like, wow, Lakshmi has 4 arms. That's not what I expected. And I was like, wow, oh, thank you, thank you. And I left it in the, I didn't take it back out of the bag. I'm like, okay, this is a whole new level for me now, right? Talking to 4-arm people.
Wait, how long did you leave it in there?
So then we had our evening session, meditation, and the next day I brought it home, and I left it in the brown bag on the table in the dining room. And I knew when my wife got up later on, she would open the bag and be like, "Rob, what the fuck is this?" And I would get the call, which I did. And I said, "Honey, oh, that's Lakshmi. Lynn bought me that as a gift." I said, "She has 4 arms." And she was like,
You never told me
mind you,
this.
my wife is not, as aligned as I am on this journey.
She is not. Lori is not. Lori, but here's
So,
what oh God.
it's just one more crazy statue, one
Oh,
more, God knows who you're talking to,
Right.
communication. But Lakshmi has been quite abundant in coming through with messages. And I wanted to share the message that came in the day after I got this gift from Lynn on my birthday. But for some reason, I couldn't find it. But it started off with Lakshmi the following morning. And she said, I remember saying, "I see you were quite taken by my anatomy yesterday. You do not remember, this time on the earth and this stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, you bet. I was definitely quite taken by that." I mean, and then I just couldn't, I'm like, wow, she knew how it was. I wasn't looking at these 4-arm statues. Well, it's been beautiful, and I have never had a problem or anything like that. So then I started to look for the message today, and I typed in Lakshmi in the computer, and there was at least 82 messages already in the computer from Lakshmi. And I know there's probably 20 more or 30 more that I haven't even extracted from the journal. So I said, boy, that's a book unto itself, just Lakshmi. So, yeah, it's a relationship that I never expected. Didn't know, where it came from, but obviously there's something from very, very long ago between us. I don't know what it is. So yesterday, actually on Tuesday, I was getting acupuncture, and I was trying to relax. I was just breathing the way you're supposed to breathe and just turning off everything for a few minutes. And Lakshmi came in and said, "We haven't spoken in a while." And I'm like, wow, this is pretty powerful. I'm like, all right, well, I promise when I'm sitting down, I'll take the message. So then yesterday, I did my meditation early in the morning, and I said, "Okay, Lakshmi, do you have any words for me today?" And I heard, "It has been a long time since you asked, but I'm always here, ready to assist in any way that I can." So I welcome the interaction and delight in the query. Dearest being of light, welcome back to the table. Welcome back to the place of energy transfer. Much has transpired since we last spoke, and only progress has been made on the path to ascension. Each and every one of you is a divine being of light. Each of you is source. So why would it take so long to recognize that fact? Because humanity has been in the dark for so long without ever being shown the way back home, but only taught to fear and accept the attempt to be controlled by others. Well, now is the time to reclaim your sovereignty and break those chains that bind you to this level of reality that is quickly fading as a new paradigm unfolds before you, one and all. So be not worried, as all will work out, and peace and prosperity will be had by all as a new earth is born. So I say this to you. Shift is a lot closer than you think, and all is to be rendered unrecognizable so that creation can continue, except only this time without all the fear and darkness experienced in the previous go-round. So I ask of you this: please continue to be that beacon that so many turn to in their time of need, and only show love and compassion as they contend with the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that have held them in bondage like no other, and assist them to see the light and not just a glimpse or two. You all have what it takes to ascend, for that is what humanity was built for, and now it is time to graduate into a new and most benevolent experience ever had in this dimension on this planet called Earth. So be excited for what is to come, and only show love to all you meet. I am your Lakshmi, and I bid farewell. So, again, another beautiful message. Starts off, talking about me coming back to the table, because it's been quite a few weeks, I think, since I've connected with Lakshmi, probably more than a month. But then it opens up into everyone, and we're all beings of light. We're all here just having the human experience. We're all here, and now it's time for us to reclaim our sovereignty, accept our divinity, and create the new. Okay, the shift is upon us. Start thinking big. Think bigger than you've ever thought before. Expect great things. Expect everything to work out. Don't worry about the details. Just trust. Trust that the energies are aligned in our favor. Everything is working for us. The only thing that can be against us is our own mind. Okay? So don't let your own mind trip you up. It's that simple. Expect big and you get big. Anybody have any questions?
No, I love this story. I love her message. I love her energy. I remember buying that statue for you because she just came through on so many messages.
Like I said, there's at least there's 82 that came up just as Lakshmi. Then
Wow.
there's Lakshmi and Company, Lakshmi and the Council of Light. I didn't even count how many of those are in there. And like I said, there's quite a few that haven't even made it into the computer yet. So now I'm starting to see a pattern, and I guess maybe Lakshmi will be one of the first books that comes out in the series.
I love that. I love that.
We just never know about opening the door. We all have the ability to open the door, go into the meditation and ask, dear Spirit, dear Jesus, dear Mary, dear whoever, address whoever you feel most aligned to at that moment. Dear Archangel Michael. A lot of people keep Michael around, right? For protection, feel safe. Yeah, even Melchizedek. Ask Mel. He shows up. Boy, oh my God. You feel the power. The room rumbles when Melchizedek comes in. And it's beautiful. Amazing energy.
My latest spiritual crush is Commander Ashtar. I came across him in one of the first women that I taught to read the Akashic Records. And he came through and I was like, whoa. I'm like, how do you have a crush on a ascended master on a card in a deck? Like, this makes no sense. So he's been chatting me up. Do you remember when you and I were with oh my God, what's her name? And we felt the energy that day, and it was Sanat Kimura. What's her name? The blonde.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
the pretty blonde that used to come to meditations with us.
Rosemary.
Thank you. You and Rosemary and I are here at the sanctuary, and we start to feel this really intense energy. And all of a sudden, I'm like, guys, it's Sanat Kumara. So I've had a crush on Sanat Kumara forever, and he's the divine counterpart of Venus, and that makes sense. But
Okay.
Ashtar showed up, and I was like, hubba hubba. Like, it's so crazy because, 62, I don't have hormones left. I have no interest. But I'm like, if this being walked through the door, you would never hear from me again. I'd be like, take me on your starship. I'm out. I'll talk to you from the other side. Done. Gone. Not even a question. I'm like, what's happening? I'll tell you, another amazing thing that happened this year was we had the 7-year anniversary of the Soma business being opened and of the Soma Life Sanctuary being opened. And what an absolute joy. Just for anyone who's interested, I have this sale where everything's on fire. I mean, like crazy, crazy, crazy prices. I got reminded today that I had agreed to a pricing, and I'm like, oh, that must have been a mistake. All right, I'll honor it anyway. But everything's on sale. If you guys have any interest in anything from Akashic readings, talking with Yeshua and Magdalene, classes, courses, year-long masterminds, memberships, like everything is there. But we did this really, really cute thing where I invited everybody very last minute to the anniversary party. We had about 20 people that showed up. And Priyanka, God bless Priyanka, she's freaking genius. She finds this thing online where you can put people's name on a wheel and you can spin it. And it sounds like Wheel of Fortune. And then the person, like one person won something, 7 different people won things. It was really, really cute. And I don't know, it was, to me, it was just this sheer delight of a celebration of life of, oh my God, how far we've come in 7 years. Because I met Rob 7 years ago. He burst in on the scene one day into the sanctuary. So we've been at this for a while, but my goodness, what we've been able to do and what we've been able to accomplish and where it is we're headed, and the vision that came through of the centers that we're going to be opening, the Essene Akashic Mystery Schools around the world. And Lucifer Morningstar let himself be interviewed by Napoleon Hill. And there was a book that was written, and it was called Outwitting the Devil. And Napoleon was able to find a way to have Lucifer tell him the truth of how he's able to control humanity. And one of the things he said was, I have 50% of every atom, and my opponent, who he refers to as God, has 50% of every other atom. He said, but there's a law of hypnotic rhythm, which is what allows people to be hypnotized. And every single being can either use it to their advantage or use it to their detriment, depending upon their consciousness. And then he gives a list of, Napoleon says to him, look, if you were to raise children so that they weren't ever to be caught in this, what would you do? And he lists out 33 bullet points of how you would raise children to be able to think for themselves, to be able to feel for themselves, to be able to be self-determined, to have definiteness of purpose in their lives. And I'm like, oh, this is the outline of how we're going to teach the children in school. So I took screenshots of all of it. And you have to understand that Lucifer Morningstar is an angel, an archangel. And God said to him, please go down to earth, represent the darkness, so everybody can make a choice through free will for the light. And that's the game that we're all playing, this most magnificent game. And I have courses and classes and tools and techniques to help people to wake up, to help people learn, oh my God, I'm caught in hypnotic rhythm. Oh my God, this is why I'm afraid of things. This is why things aren't working out. This is why I'm sad. This is why I'm depressed. This is why I feel anxiety. I'm focused on the past. I'm living with guilt and shame. I have fear of the future. I'm living with anxiety. And it's all these tools are literally about getting us to be present, because Yeshua has said that how he was able to become a Christed being was that he mastered time, and what he mastered was being present. And I think that's just brilliant, magnificent. He says, you've got to raise your frequency. It's done through the foods that you eat, how you take care of the body, how you manage your mind through mindfulness. You know how when a kid is like a maniac, they call it a willful child? The will that he's using is the will of an undisciplined mind. But when someone becomes mindful, like you hear the Buddhist monks talk about, someone then has control of the mind. And one of the things Lucifer says in the book is, if you want to get out of hypnotic rhythm, if you want to get out of these habits and behaviors that you feel are out of control for you, what you do is you learn to slow down enough to observe the thoughts as they come, and you make a different choice. You go, oh, I could choose to do this. This is the knee-jerk reaction. This is the addiction. This is the pattern of the way it's always been. Or I could go, hold on a second. I could make a different choice here. And that's when you're able to use time because you're present. You're not just automatically reacting to things. And I just thought that was brilliant. So that's some of the things that we teach. So if anyone's interested, I think I have a link I can drop. It was
Yeah.
in the email.
Talk about the stuff that you offer. I realized that.
Say again?
I said, shoot, getting something off the printer. I said we haven't really spoke that much about all the things that you offer in the Soma Life category. That's
it's there's
the
just
Akashic Record, the ordinations of Melchizedek through Reverend Dan.
Right, Reverend Dan is on his way back to Huntington. He's going to be here at the end of October. As a matter of fact, Linda is going to be coming in to be ordained. Our beloved Linda is going to be here. I'm thrilled that she will be coming. And Carol is actually ordained in the Order of Melchizedek, and Deborah's going to be coming. In fact, Deborah's driving to Linda, and then Deborah and Linda are driving into town. They're going to stay at the Hilton here. And then we have a fun friend named Zach, and Zach's coming with his new wife, and she's going to get ordained. He's already been ordained. But these ordinations they're just extraordinary. And we've probably had 100 people. He's ordained 17,000 people in over 35 years. And we've probably had 100 of them that have been ordained here at the Soma Life Sanctuary. So it's going to be quite magical. And he's a character and a half. He's quite a hoot. Definitely larger than life. Carries the energy of Abraham the patriarch. And in fact, it was Melchizedek who came to Avram and Sarai and said, you will be Abraham and you will lead 3 nations, and you will be Sarah and you're going to give birth to a child. She's like 90. Can you imagine? Well, lo and behold, he wasn't wrong. Definitely wasn't wrong. Yeah, so there's so much that we offer. We have classes on how to clear and open your clairs, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, how to learn to go into the Akashic Records, to look at past lives, to look at future lives, to look at simultaneous existences. Look, if there's something that you want to do, like I had a client one time, she's like, I want to make $60 million. I said, great. I took her to her round table, and she met the version of herself in the future that's making 60 million. And she completely changed her business, and she's making money like crazy right now. Depends on what you'd want to do. Depend, if you've thought of it, that aspect of you exists. The minute that we think a thought, we create a reality. It all exists, and you can have access to all of it. That is why we have free will. That is the right use of will. Because every time we think, we create. I remember reading something that said, if you knew the power of the mind, you would never think another negative thought. And I think that's so important.
So you were talking about Sanat Kumar a few moments ago, and you said that he first came to you when?
Do you remember that night we were here with you and me and Rosemary? It was sometime in early 2019. I had just opened up so many different relationships and businesses, and I was in this incredible depression. And he came in and he said, you're losing her. I remember I channeled him for you guys, and he said, you're losing her. And then you and Rosemary and I made sure that we talked for 3 days. That's when I called out to Yeshua. Mary Magdalene came in. She had me start reading Disappearance of the Universe, and it changed my life. And then the next year I started the Course in Miracles work again for like the 9th time of I would try to get people together to get through the course materials, and it's just always a struggle. But I finally made it through. It's so funny. I finally made it through because I was being responsible to Magdalene and to Yeshua to bring that material forth. And it's been beautiful to go back and read some of these things. I'll tell you what, it's been a huge affirmation that I definitely didn't have anything to do with what came through my mouth. Because when you hear some of the words that she channeled, I'm like, oh yeah, this is just pure magic. Pure Magdalene wisdom.
Now, it's just for everyone listening, watching. as soon as you enunciate the word, the name of that energy or being, it's like calling out their name. Okay.
Mhm. Like Beetlejuice.
And yeah, if you watch someone channel that energy, or a particular group or energy, and you immerse yourself in it, you're bringing it closer to you. So Lynn's talking about Sanat Kumara, and I only knew of Sanat Kumara as part of the Brotherhood and Sisterhood of Man, as part of Saint Germain's posse, and that's how I was introduced to Sanat and Sananda, who is referred to as Jesus in that group, and Saint Germain and Sister Lady Nada and Sister Lady Portia, and right, the whole group, Hilarion, Master Hilarion, all that. So while Lynn was talking about Sanat Kumara, I said, well, I wonder when the first time I got a message from Sanat was. And it was just in January of 2020. So I guess, right, during COVID now, right?
Yep.
January of 2020. So we're into it a good amount of months.
No, I mean, COVID closed down happened March of 2020, but it was definitely on the front lines in
Right,
January.
so it was that we were at the first holiday season of it.
Yeah.
And Sanat Kumara came in. And I asked Hannah, because Hannah is one of my guides, Hannah and Octavius and Hannah. They just showed up one day, and I said, Hannah, are you with me today? I heard yes. And I asked, please connect me with Sanat Kumara today. Greetings, Robert, and thank you for requesting my presence at this your time. You have been wondering about what is to come and how it will play out upon your world. And that is a legitimate human question. But now we ask that you think only of ways to mitigate and change the potentials that are. The only thing there is to fear are thoughts that are less than perfect. Focus all of your intentions upon the desired outcomes and not the nonsense that is constantly laid before you through the mind of others. Fear is the most powerful tool, and it is being wielded with great accuracy on so much of the human population of Gaia at this your time. If each soul would simply stop and breathe, so much pressure would be relieved within the collective. We are here in great numbers. We are here to help stabilize and neutralize whatever disruptions that may occur during this transition of crystalline conversion. As this occurs, much of the old carbon-based platform is to be shed, and as it falls away, many belief systems fall along with it, as the details are not as important as the results. And that is what is being referred to when it is said to only focus on what you want. Continue to create a reality you desire. Continue to dream of the paradise that fits you best. It is only a breath away for you and all who choose to stay in the light. So reach out your hand and grab as many as you can as they reach out to you for guidance and love. This has been my pleasure this day to communicate with you. Farewell, Sanat Kumara. So even a message that came in almost 4 years ago still is 100% relevant in where we're at now. Right?
Yeah.
Create the reality we want. Expect, see yourself in that paradise. Okay. It's just so important. They can't stress it enough. And I think that's why I'm being pushed to stress it tonight once more. Right? To think positive, think within the light, and expect only good things. Sorry, I've taken a lot of time. Go ahead, please.
No. Beautiful. Rob, have you ever added up how many beings you've channeled? I know it's over 50.
Yeah, I haven't. I stopped counting because every day, like I said, if you think about someone, they show up. And lately, I have a lot of visitors who I don't know who would want to give messages, as I said, to others that I might know or know through someone else.
I love that.
Over and over again. And I've been writing them down. I try and get in touch with the people that they belong to, but if they don't respond, I'm not going to oh my gosh, I'm a psychic and I have a message for you. You know, just leave it. When it comes around, it comes around. You know?
We'll leave that up to Teresa, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll leave that to those who are putting themselves out there. And then, hey, don't kid yourself. I got a message from Teresa back in May. I'm not kidding.
I remember you told me.
And I gave it to her, and Teresa Computer was talking about it. And she took it, and it resonated with her, and she appreciated it for where it came. And I was like, I can't believe I'm giving out messages to these world famous mediums, but it's how it works.
Listen,
They don't see it that way on the other side. We're all just energy. We're all equal.
you are going to let yourself be a world famous medium because you clearly are.
Thank you. I love to share what comes in. Like I said, you never know who's going to show up at your door. It could be you want to talk to someone specific, and someone else is there. Once you open that door, you never know. You never know. It's all good. It's all exciting. It's exciting. And when each of you're doing this, whether you're automatic writing or you're just sitting there and you feel that connection, ask questions. Ask. There's no limit. I mean, there's a limit to what they might answer if you get certain things like when we do mediumship, especially when you learn in the beginning, you don't read into people who don't, who you are not have, you don't have permission from, right? But it's not polite to go read your neighbor's, records without their permission.
No,
That's an invasion of privacy. So,
sometimes people will ask questions, and it's just not. The records won't be forthcoming because the information is not meant to be received. I had the opportunity to teach in one of my classes last night, taught them how to read the Akashic Records, and 2 of the students practiced today. And one of them reached out to me and he's like, oh my God, I read her records. It was incredible. And I'm like, now you know why I'm obsessed with the Akashic Records. I was working with a new coach today. He's actually one of my Kabbalah teachers. And he said, what are 3 words that you would use to describe how it is that you want to live in the world? And I said, I want to live with grace, with beauty, and with intelligence. And he said, what name would you want to be known as? And I said, She Who Remembers, which is the name of my higher self, Sahaniel, and how she is known, because she is the keeper of the records. And when people grant themselves access, it's literally the single greatest tool that you can have for your own personal will, to be able to know every time you've thought something, every time you've spoken something, and every time you've done something, it literally is, it's something that it's going to come back to you. It doesn't matter. It goes in the book of karma, the laws of tikkun, whatever you want to call it. You're going to get to experience whatever it is you put out, because we live in this kind of boomerang reciprocal universe. And whether we're aware of it or not, it's coming back for us, in one way or the other. So that's why Yeshua is like, please be so vigilant of the thoughts you think. Please think nothing but love. Because when you get upset, and when you get triggered, and when you get mad, and when you go into these spirals, understand that when you put that energy out, the universe has to bring it back to you. Everything and everyone is a mirror of some aspect of self. Rob, you're going to have to excuse me for a moment. I'm having a reaction to something, and I have to leave the room for a moment.
I'm going to
chat
share
amongst.
today.
I'll be right back.
I'm loaded with messages. Loaded. All right. So this morning I do my best every Wednesday morning to tune in and bring in a message to share that's fresh for today. Yesterday Lakshmi came in along with other messages, but that was just the one I shared from yesterday. This morning I got up with the intent to channel a message to share for this evening. And this morning I did my meditation. I felt the love wash. I knew that, I knew that the energy was there to talk. And I just said, who is with me now? Legions of light are at your service, wanting and waiting to assist in your ascension. It is as simple as a call out, and we are there. Let us appear to you at any time of the day, for we are energy. We are here to assist in moving you out of the old way of doing things and into a new level of creation, one that does not require backbreaking labor or stress of any kind. As abundance flows, so will the pent-up energy of society, and once moving to the collective will then once moving, the collective will then gain the momentum needed to launch into a new paradigm of heaven on earth with no restrictions. To some, this may sound like pie in the sky, but from where we stand, it is truth. So join us, call out to us, and let us take your hand and show you the way. There is nothing to fear and only experience to gain as you learn of your true history and reason for being. This is not something done without love. So let us guide the way for each and every one of you now in this time of shift. Slip into your meditation with your hands out and let us lead the way. Your efforts and diligence of what has got you this far. So keep doing what you have been doing and trust in the divine light of source to reunite and the oneness once more to live a life of harmony and understanding with only love at its core. We are so delighted to be able to convey this message, and we thank you once more for the opportunity. Thank you, and God bless you. So long for now. So the legions of light, angels, angelics, energetics, little ones, they're all there. They're all legions of light. They're here to help us move through this ascension. They're saying, just call out to us. Okay. You know, that Jesus give you the strength. You know, you don't have to be in a moment of total duress and life-threatening situation to call out for help. You can call out for help at any time of the day. And this is what they're saying. And it could be for anything. Where did I leave my glasses? Where did I put my pen? What's the best thing for me to do today? What should I do first? Who should I call? What bill should I pay first? Ask. They're always there to give you the straight answer. That's what they're saying over and over and over again. And this is what today's message was. Just call us. Set the intention. Do your meditation. Put your hands out. Dear Spirit, I need help with this. What should I do? Okay, the question mark, input is the switch. Silence is the key. How you doing, Lynn? Okay.
I'm okay. I've definitely been better, but I'm okay. I'm back. Listen, Jesus did this thing with Helen, who was the scribe for the Course in Miracles back in 1965. Helen Schuckman. So he said to her, look, I know that you want to go buy a mink coat. Ask me where to go so that you can just go there and get it and be done with it, like in the most expeditious manner. And she got really upset and she's like, I want to be self-determined. I want to decide where I want to go shopping. And he's like, well, I already know where you're going to get the thing. So why don't you just let me give you the shortcut? She was so funny. She was so resistant to him. I get it. I was resistant to him in the beginning. But he said, please wake up every day and ask me, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? And with whom would you have me do it? So my main mentor is a woman named Melanie. And Melanie said, if you just allow yourself to be led by spirit, if you just allow yourself to know that everything that you do is in their hands, they're going to take the most incredible care of you. So about a week ago, Wendy, one of my business partners, she channels Metatron. He was my mentor for teaching me how to be a channel. Alicia, one of the women that works with us, came to us about 2 weeks ago and says, let's do a retreat to Sedona. And I'm like, what a great idea. So we got this fabulous house for a lot of money, 8 bedrooms, 9 beds, you know, king size bed, queen size beds, a pool, a putting green, a sauna, a spa, you know. I mean, just this place is so gorgeous. It's 3 stories. It's like 9,000 square feet. And I'm like, okay, we'll see if we can get 9 people to go. And 2 people sign up right away. And I'm like, Spirit, please, 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 please. We now have 15 people and we're sold out in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? Because I just put it, I'm like, Yeshua, if you want this thing to happen, I'm just going to put it in your hands. And he's like, hold my beer. you know? And everything has been like that. I'm like, we're going to do this year-long mastermind. And we almost have 30 people in it. It's like crazy. Like, he's like, okay, ask this person to make this deal and let this thing happen. And like, I'm going, but wait. And he goes, nope, that's the deal. That's the way it turned out. And I'm like, okay, I surrender. And just like letting it all happen. Everything that happens is the way that it's meant to happen. And I'm just like, God's in charge of everything. And my ego's like, wait. And I'm like, nope, just like, let it all just be. It comes in waves, but everything's meant to come in waves, because otherwise you'd be drinking out of a fire hose all day. So, I'm just thrilled. I'm like, okay, now let's do Mount Shasta. And then we're going to do south of France from Magdalene. And then I had one of my Kabbalah teachers who was in the Israeli army. I said, we want to go to Israel. And he goes, I know how to do a safe Israel. I've got bodyguards. We've got armored, vehicles. I'm like, yeah, let's just stay away from the Gaza Strip. And he's like, no, we'll go to where Jesus grew up. We'll walk where Jesus walked. It was amazing when I said to him, I wrote this book with Mary Magdalene. I hadn't talked to him in years. And he goes, oh, yes, the wife, the mother of the children. Because he's a Kabbalist. And in Kabbalah, they say that Yeshua was the Messiah. Now, a lot of the old Jews were up in arms, but, the truth is the truth is the truth. Okay, I have Yeshua ben Joseph for us. I also have a cat who wants to go out. So let me let the cat out. We'll do some show. I know, I heard you.
Who doesn't like to hear from Yeshua ben Joseph on Wednesday night? I mean, come on.
Out you go. Okay.
Right. I get excited. I like this.
Yeshua ben Joseph. No, I'm cracking up and thinking I got Magdalene in the morning. I got Yeshua in the evening. Wednesday's now my favorite day of the week. Okay. Mm. Mm. Greetings, beloveds. Beloveds, it is our great joy to be with you. Master Robert, we thank you. It is good to hear all that you have allowed yourself to bring forth. And beloved, we don't mean to sound like a broken record, but if you knew how many beings were waiting for your books, praying for your books, begging for your books, upon their knees, asking for there to be answers to their questions that are delivered in your message, you would tarry no longer. Consider this a nudge.
Okay.
Allow Sahana Grace and her team to assist you, for they are in the process of publishing many versions of the book that was written, and they have their fingers in many pies. Beloveds, we have come to answer questions that you may have. Please allow yourselves to interact with us. Master Robert, if you would be the master of ceremonies and allow these beloved creatures to come forth and ask what questions they may, so that we may be of service. It would be our delight to interact with you.
Anyone have a question? I don't see any hands up. Okay, Linda Thomas, please.
It would be Toma, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is karma still real? Is it still accurate? Is it still alive?
Beloved, understand that what has been considered karma are the ways that energy is managed. It is not that one has done a bad thing and one will be punished. It is not that one has done something that is considered good and therefore has earned their angel wings. It is a law of reciprocity. What is given out will be received. It is a mirrored effect of reality. And indeed, it is, in effect, within this time-space continuum. There are other dimensions where those laws do not apply.
Thank you.
Indeed. We look forward to the journey that we will be undertaking with you.
Yes, you will. May I expand upon Linda's question, because
Indeed.
her question is based on the teachings of Cryon, the energy of Cryon, and he channels, through a man named Lee Carroll and myself and many others, and he says that karma is dead. Now, is he referring to karma in our next cycle, our next experience, and we're just wrapping this one up, so there's still karma, or could you expand that at all?
We do not wish to, how shall we put this? We do not wish to spook anyone. We do not wish to scare anyone, but let us say that we are indeed coming to an end of a cycle. And at the end of that cycle, a new cycle will begin. And we shall leave it at that, beloved.
Okay. Linda, does that help you? Okay, it's as much as we're getting on that topic. All right.
Indeed.
Okay, Michelle Langdon, what do you got?
Hi. I had a question for you. I work 3 jobs and 7 days a week, and I was hoping he can tell me if my finances will ever get better so I can actually enjoy doing stuff.
Beloved, as difficult as this would be to hear, we would actually recommend that you work less. For what you have allowed yourself to manifest is a sense of being drained, of not allowing yourself to have fun and to enjoy, of feeling that you must work in order to receive. And we would ask you to consider that there is a very different mindset that you can take, beloved, in which you could say, here is what I command of the universe. You allow yourself to shift your frequency out of the worker bee that feels that what you must do is work to earn. And you would allow yourself to receive the gift of what it is that the universe has in store for you. There is thinking that allows you to believe that there is scarcity, that if you did not work as hard as you do, as much as you do, that you would not be provided for. But what we would like you to come to know is there is indeed a whole other way that you could interact with life so that you would not be tired as you are. You would not feel that if you let go of something, it would not be replaced. This is a deeper and a broader conversation that we would like to invite you to have with Sahana Grace. And we will let her know that it is a conversation that we wish to have with you. And she will make arrangements for this to be so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Indeed. We love you and we have our eye upon you.
Thank you.
Our delight.
Thank you, Michelle, for that question, and make sure you connect with Lynn. Okay. Nadia, please. Ask
Hi.
your question.
So I have been constantly running into brick walls trying to have my financial and spiritual breakthroughs, and it's exhausting at this point. And so, what is it going to take for me to finally get the breakthroughs that I've been searching for?
Stop searching. Beloved, everything that you have and everything that you need already exists inside of you. And you have been preoccupying yourself by looking outside for answers, by looking outside for solutions. If you understood that you were already a millionairess, if you could find the place internally where you are free, you will allow so much to rain down upon you. But you have kept yourself mired in a sense of frustration. You have not let yourself feel gratitude. You have let yourself feel paucity and scarcity. Tonight, before you go to bed, beloved one, we ask you to make a list of all that you are grateful for. For when you allow yourself to go into the flow of gratitude, everything begins to shift. It is thinking that will completely change your circumstances. You have time that is coming in which you will be speaking with us, and we will bring some more pointed details to you. Know that help is on the way.
Thank you.
We love you so dearly. You have come to the right place.
Thank you.
Indeed. Indeed.
Anybody else? That's it. Michelle, we got Nadia
There are some questions that have been
in the
Uh,
chat. Okay, Linda Toma, is Divine Mother synonymous with the Holy Spirit?
indeed. What
Okay.
else do you want to
And
know?
next question, how many ascended masters are you in total? 13,000 or more so far. That's what Tess wants to know.
Far more. Far
Have we
more.
passed 144,000 mark?
Beloved, understand that there are 12 dimensions. And within the 12 dimensions, there are 12 dimensions. And within this 144, there are 100,000 aspects. And everything, when you look at the structure of the hierarchy, everything comes off of it. It is perfectly synonymous with the tree. If you imagine that the trunk of the tree is source itself, you have roots that grow down as deeply as the limbs that grow up. There is a root network, the mycelial network, in which all trees talk and communicate to and through each other. And above the ground, you have limbs and you have branches and you have leaves. And in the same way that it produces oxygen through photosynthesis, there is the same process that occurs in what seems to be the shadow. When you allow yourself to become aware of this, you will come to know yourself. These questions that you ask, beloved, how do they apply to you to make you feel safer in the world, to make you feel that what you are ready to do is go back to work? Ask questions, beloved one, that apply to your life directly, not lofty questions that will feed some part of the egoic mind. These questions can be answered from within. The deeper questions that you would want to know is, how do I remember who I am as an ascended master? How do I allow myself to relate. Where do I fit within the structure of the 144,000? What dimension am I constantly aligning myself to? What is my frequency? How can I raise my frequency? Ask questions, beloveds, that apply to your life, where you can start to make the difference in your world. This is what you're here for, and we are here to remind you of this.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
We thank you for your time. We thank you for your love. We return the love to you always. And indeed, we shall speak with you again.
It was insightful. Thank you, Sister Lynn. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed another episode of Jesus Christ, Not Another Fucking Podcast. It was fun. Remember, bring questions, bring lots of questions, because the Ascendeds always show up and want to answer them. Right? We'll be back at it next Wednesday, Miss Lynn.
Indeed.
Right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.